Hello, and welcome to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time home buying podcast. I'm Brianna Goslin, mortgage agent level 2, and I work with Canadian first-time homebuyers every single day. If you want to own real estate in Canada but aren't sure how to position yourself to get there, this is the podcast for you. I want to see more young Canadians in the market, building equity and long-term wealth. That starts with getting the right advice at the right time, so you're positioned to act when it matters. Each week, I'll bring you bite-sized episodes that actually move the needle toward homeownership. Short, strategic, and packed with practical tips that you can use right away. I'll cover topics like minimum down payment, closing costs, credit, co-signers, and more. Remember, your finances are like a thumbprint. No two are the same. For advice tailored specifically to you, book your free call at briecallme.com. Now, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Homeowner AF. If you are planning on house hunting as a first-time homebuyer in Ontario in the fall market of 2026, then you need to listen to this podcast because I am highlighting an opportunity that is unique to first-time homebuyers in Ontario right now. So listen up and we'll get right into it. As a mortgage agent in Ontario, I, of course, work with lots and lots of first-time homebuyers, but I also have clients who are what you would call a move-up buyer. So I was in this situation personally about 5 years ago. We had already purchased our first home and were ready for something a little bit bigger, a little further out of town, and something a little different. So we became move-up buyers where we sold our first home and purchased our second. What people and Canadians typically do when they are purchasing their second home or third home and they are selling the one that they're currently living in is that home will provide the down payment for the next one. And this is why I always say that buying your first home in Canada is the hardest one. Even if you have a portfolio of properties, the first one is the most difficult to get into and to qualify for because, of course, you are saving your money and the equity is not working for you quite yet. Yes, you could have investments that are earning, but is not quite like the Canadian real estate market, which you have access to once you own your home. So folks who are buying their second home, yes, will sell the house and then pay out their mortgage, and whatever is left over, typically they put towards their next home. So that's what a move-up buyer is. First-time home buyer, you're using either gifted funds or your own funds or your RRSP. You are using slower growing funds versus equity to purchase your next home. Now, the market currently in most areas of Ontario is a buyer's market, which means we have lots of supply, lots of people who are putting up their homes for sale, and not a ton of demand, or at least not enough demand to match the supply, which means that homes are staying on the market for longer and there are not enough buyers who want to purchase or who can qualify to purchase these homes. For that reason, prices are dropping a little and we're seeing some of what they call softening in the market. So already you can tell that the landscape for first-time homebuyers is a little better than it has been in previous years because prices are dropping. That means that sellers will be more apt to take a lower offer. But of course, that's a discussion to have with your realtor because every market in Ontario, especially right now, is very localized. They all act differently, and your realtor is definitely the expert to talk to about an offer. But this is something that you need to keep in mind as a first-time homebuyer. Many of the offers that second-time homebuyers or move-up buyers are presenting have a clause or a contingency that they must sell their current home to be able to close on the purchase that they're making. Now, if you think about that, this is what ends up happening quite often. And of course, every situation is unique. Every outcome is different, but if you follow the bouncing ball, you'll see how it is better for a first-time home buyer right now than somebody who has a house to sell. So I'm a move-up buyer. I've put in a conditional offer and it is conditional upon the sale of my home. And I have 3 months to sell my home so that I can purchase the new one. As a seller, the seller is going to have to be waiting for that to firm up, which means they need to wait and they can't make any firm plans to purchase their next home until they have the go-ahead that their buyers have also been able to sell their home. Now, from a seller's perspective, it might make more sense to just give a first-time home buyer their conditions of financing and inspection that you know will be all wrapped up tidily within 5 days versus the 3 months you're going to have to wait maybe for a slightly higher offer to close on your property. So that's the lay of the land. And I can tell you that I've been seeing both sides. So unfortunately for my move-up buyers, I've seen quite a few purchases kind of go by the wayside because they've had to back out of the purchase because they couldn't find a buyer suitable for their property. They couldn't sell their property in time. I've also seen quite a number of first-time home buyers be successful and move forward with a 5-day condition of financing and a 5-day condition of inspection with their offers, which is fantastic. And I would never advise to move forward with a property purchase without those 2 conditions placed in the agreement of purchase and sale, because of course you are likely spending more money than you've ever spent on something. You are taking out a massive loan on this home. You want to proceed confidently and you want to protect your purchase knowing that you can fund it and that everything is fail-safe within that property from an inspection point of view. So this is what's going on in the Canadian market right now. And if you want to be ready to execute on that purchase when the right property comes up, I would urge you to get your ducks in a row early. As soon as you are thinking about purchasing a home, that's the time to call a mortgage agent and to start having your pre-approval arranged. Why? Because when we are talking about Canadian real estate, things change very quickly. And when the right property pops up, you want to be ready. You don't want to go through the stress of having to do an entire pre-approval during that 5-day condition of financing, because it is stressful and that is not something that you want to be walking into when you know that you could have had it done well ahead of that offer night. So how do we do this? Well, the first step is you book a call at www.briecallme.com and we will talk through your timeline, your situation, your credit score, your job, everything. We'll see what you qualify for now, and if we need to build out a plan to get you to a higher purchase price, then we do that. You fill out an online application, send me some documents, and we hold a rate for you so that you can go out and go house hunting, shopping for 120 days. Your pre-approval is good and rate hold is good for 120 days. After 120 days, there's no more legwork for you, just a quick refresh. We chat really quickly, make sure that you haven't financed a car or any of that funny stuff since we last spoke, and then you can continue to house hunt. So I tell you all this to let you know that really the upfront work is done one time, and then you can have the peace of mind to go and house hunt and execute on that plan that we've built together. So if any of this is kind of making the wheels turn in your mind and you're thinking about what a purchase could mean for you in Ontario in 2026, of course, go ahead, book in, give me a call, and I would be happy to chat your specific numbers so that you have an idea of what you can afford. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can always send me a DM to Brianna Goslin Mortgages on Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer them on air. Or, of course, send me an email. All my information is in the show notes, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thanks for listening to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time home buying podcast. You'll find links to everything I mentioned in today's episode in the show notes, along with details on how to connect with me. I welcome all of your first-time home buying questions. Send me a voice note to have your question featured on air. And if you're ready to talk through specifics for your first home purchase, you can book a free call at briecallme.com. Remember, if home ownership is your goal, you could be closer than you think. You just need the right information to make the right move. I'll be back next week with another tidbit to help you get there.